It's another beautiful Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my lovely co-host here. Hi, ladies.
Good morning.
How you doing, Nima?
Nima is fine. Today I have a matter at Alagbon later today.
Alahu?
Alagbon.
Okay.
Anti-fraud unit.
Oh.
Yeah. But I want to call on Governor Ambode to please come and help us sanitize the tanker drivers at the depot in Ijegun.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was a residential area before they started putting the depots. Now we have over 25 depots there.
Wow.
Tank farm, sorry. And the road is still the same narrow road all the way down. So they drive, and when I get to my daughter's school, it is a narrow curve. The tankers are not even careful. Yesterday, they locked us down on the express to way to Badagry, locked us down on Old Ojo Road, locked the way down, and they are not even getting products. They're just parked on the road, double parking, only one single lane for cars.
Right.
So we need law and order in that area. Please, the governor, please.
Keep making the
All
noise.
right.
Sure
Keep talking about it. I'm sure they'll hear us. How you doing, Jumoke?
I'm very fine. Are you people drinking my tea? It smells really nice. This tea, Murayo, I'm making money. Come and join me.
Don't use our platform to market your matter, please.
I haven't even mentioned the name
we
yet.
don't
So
we know who you're talking about.
Oh, that's you now. But I was made platinum elite yesterday. You know, I'm feeling really good. Alternative source of income without doing anything.
I might consider it actually because it sounds interesting. All the figures I'm hearing, I'm like,
I think that there's a form, whatever you can do that will legitimately make you earn extra money is something we should all consider. You can't say you don't have enough time, you know, you must consider it. However, today is Wednesday, and my woman crush of all time is at the studio. And I already said upstairs I'm going to farms like crazy, but like I have a list of very cogent questions that I must ask. Ask. I'm so excited, you know.
All right. There's a young lady. I don't know her name. She came to the office yesterday. She brought cut up vegetables. So she called it fried rice mix. And I'm like, young girl. She brought for all of us. I mean, yours is in the fridge. But I used it yesterday with ofada rice. Oh my God, this thing was heavenly. What? She cut those vegetables up so nicely, neatly done. I'm like, if you say there's no job, I don't understand. This girl gave, I mean, I don't know her name. I have to get my intern to give me her number. I'm going to call her to say thank you. I used ofada rice to make fried rice. Have you ever tried it before? No, ofada and fried rice. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's heavenly.
But
trust me. No, it is heavenly. And I put ugu again.
Murayo, I know you're hitting healthy, but jeez, you're making it sound like it's good.
Ofada, veggie fried rice with
ugu. I've not tried it.
Yeah, you don't remember her name.
But thank you. I will get her name tomorrow and thank her. But honestly, that's a fantastic business idea. But she has to find a way to freeze it or find a way to at least to sustain it for longer because she told preserve it because she told me like only for about 4 or 5 days maximum, which is really not good.
But that's good now. So it's fresh.
It's fresh.
It's not the one that they'll go and add preservative.
Sustainability of the business, expansion of the business, a lot of research and development needs to go into it. But there is,
for starters.
Yeah,
she did a fantastic job.
I
don't know her name, but whoever you are,
tomorrow we'll thank you when I try my own.
Let me just say one rant. I read something from a makeup artist online that she wanted to register a business, and that everybody registers business for NAFDAC. Before you can access BOI loan, you must be registered with NAFDAC. For you to register with NAFDAC, you need to pay #1 million and have your laboratory. She now said that if I had 1 million and I had a 5 million laboratory, would I need BOI loan? You know, I think businesses. We're going to discuss business.
All right, we have to rush out. News mentioned. Contrary to belief that women are more vulnerable to sexual assaults, a recent survey has revealed that more men are sexually assaulted than women. Whoa. The survey conducted for the Domestic Sexual Violence Response Team, DSVRT, revealed that 59% of men are victims of sexual assault compared to women being 51%. Goodness gracious.
I believe.
Where did they get this survey from?
No, you know why? They went to ask men. It's a survey. Unlike women who come out and ours is visible. A man will not come out and say that I was assaulted. No, they're saying that 20% of these men were assaulted by other men. So homosexuality is growing without us knowing.
Let's just mum right there because we don't want to get in trouble. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, look at the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. We're going to start with the punch. Federal government should drop Saraki's CCT case. APC senators tell party. Blame Magu's rejection on DSS report, says lawmakers. Picture here of indigenes of Borno State during the protest against the suspension of Senator Ali Ndume at the National Assembly in Abuja. Politicians eyeing 2019 if Buhari doesn't run, says Al-Rufai. Sage threatens to sue Senate over proposed summons. Developer defrauds new couple, 11 others from Kirikiri prison. Very interesting. Recovered $22 billion, 316 billion naira from NNPC. Native tells federal government. Disobedience to God, responsible for meningitis outbreak, says Governor Yari. Defend yourselves against herdsmen, Yoruba elders tell Southwest, and INEC berates parties for fielding ex-convicts certificate forgers. So let's start with the developer who defrauded.
As much as I want to address Governor Yari, so this Alhaji Lukman Adewale,
yes,
who is remanded in prison for defrauding, it was fraud on sales of a house that put him in prison.
Yeah.
Was found to have, through his apprentice Adeniyi Owolabi, defrauded 12 people of about ₦1 million. Now, what did they do? Occupied apartments in a building, about 10 apartments or thereabouts. Owolabi collected monies from people. There was someone saying about his sister who just got married. They paid about 100,000 for this apartment, only to find out that the house was already occupied. Now, the police did their investigations, and Alhaji Lukman Adewale helped them to find Owolabi, but owned up that he's the, what they call it?
He had a good succession plan. He's the brain behind it.
Okay,
he's the mastermind. Owolabi is his apprentice.
Right. So he's the one who said from prison.
When are we taking?
Did you read the headline?
Which one?
The CCT.
Federal government should drop Saraki's CCT case. I read that story. I thought we were going to take it in Vanguard. Let's take it in Vanguard.
Yes,
let's move on. But when are we taking disobedience to God? Let's take it that
I have that story.
Let's take it. It's on. Okay. Moving on to the nation. UK law to expose Nigerian properties account owners. Federal government says no safe haven for corrupt officials. INEC, parties field criminals and forgers. Ndume supporters storm National Assembly. And Naiti urges for government to recover $22 billion, 316 billion naira from NNPC.
So I have the story, the headline story.
Yeah, go ahead.
The executive secretary on Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption has come up with a new they want to move a new bill, criminal finance bill, which is
in the UK, not in Nigeria. Yeah,
which is going to help them expose properties owned by Nigerians in the UK. Yeah. A lot of our fund is being used to buy properties abroad, and as many of them, we have treaties with them. We can pool the resources on the name. They said that unexplained wealth orders. So some people just get rich and then they just go buying things up.
And the UK has told us that they will release the names by 2018. So we'll look forward to that.
We must get a conviction in our country.
Yes.
Right. At least we'll have details from them to prosecute.
So Ndume's supporters sat down there and said they're not going anywhere until Ndume is reinstated.
I read that story about Ndume. It's very important that his constituents think that, that they're being silenced, they're not represented. And they said to the National Assembly, to the Senate President, that this man has done so much, especially for the IDP camps within his constituency, and a lot of other things that he has done, that within 3 days, please recall him, because without this person, remember it was the way that was talking about when the girls were picked,
when they were
girls, that they were moving them, that he had information, and
but our senators don't care about that. They only worry about the politics.
They're working for us, Murayo. Yeah. So the people that are represented by the people Ndume is representing have said that we want someone to speak for us, and you cannot say because of one personal reason you're going to send him out.
Yes,
and they have the right to do that.
I have a personal agenda, and that is to scrap the Senate. The billions we are using for the Senate, let's start building hospitals. Let Nigerian lives matter, because our Senate, they're not doing anything for us. We have a House of Representatives representing every constituent in Nigeria. Let them be the ones making the law. So because our format of democracy right now isn't working for us. We're spending billions on these people who are hindering our progress.
Well, thank you. Well, we're not done with Senate, because they're still on Vanguard. Senators angry with Saraki over Ali Magu. I'll tell you why they were angry. DMO to raise 460 billion naira in second quarter. British government to release information on property owned by Nigerians in the UK. We talked about that. And let's see, don't borrow. Recover 7.2 trillion unremitted revenue to fund budget. Now, senators are angry at Saraki, saying that he went to a closed-door meeting with the president. Yes. And he didn't mention the major issues that is bothering them. The Magu story, the Magu issue, the Ali story, the SGF issues. That he didn't mention that all he was worried about
was the CCT.
No,
the president gave the terms. The president, told them to put aside their frosty relations and look into the appropriation bill.
Yes. Exactly. And passing the budget on time. That's pretty much what he said. The conversation was. So they're angry that there are other pending issues. Why would you not discuss those issues?
The Senate is also saying that they are not going to do anything until the executive drop the case against Saraki.
CCT case.
So that's why I'm saying scrap the Senate.
Even the APC senators, the caucus,
they are in agreement on that matter.
They all had a closed-door meeting with Oyegun Odige, that's the NWC chairman.
The APC chairman.
The APC chairman. They had a meeting with him, a closed-door meeting, where they insisted that, listen, we have to, we're all together on this issue of CCT, drop the case against Saraki.
How much do these people earn a month again?
And how much are they paid to front this? Is this what your constituents are saying? Because at the end of the day, you're supposed to represent us.
The APC is not one house.
Right.
12 to 15 million
a lot of them decamped now from PDP to APC.
Yes.
So they are still loyal to their PDP leaders. Moving on to Daily Sun. Death toll rises to 363. That's the meningitis havoc. God is angry with Nigeria. Says Zamfara governor.
Education.
As federal government distributes 500,000 vaccines. UK to expose Nigerian property owners. Naiti urges government to recover $21.7 billion from NNPC and NPDC. Buhari to formally unveil economic recovery plan. They have approved the disbursement of $4.5 billion Chinese loan. An IPOB protest alleges plan to try Kalu under Sharia law. Let's talk about this. God is
that the government is to blame when people resort to focusing on spirituality for every single problem, because they are not using their head. They blame everything they cannot rationalize on spiritual matters. Imagine a governor.
His name, Governor Abdul Aziz Yari of Zamfara State.
So your Zamfara governor.
All of a sudden, he's a religious man now. The governor should remember that not only the poor people who have been affected by meningitis are the people committing fornication. In fact, they in government are more guilty. But unfortunately, because of funds, they are more protected. These people cannot access hospitals. They cannot access.
The reason why God sent meningitis type C, that they don't have vaccine, is because of nefarious activities.
He's also said that our relationship with God is not smooth. That we should think twice about our relationship with God.
And there's so much fornication in the land.
And but he's praying, that we will find a solution to this meningitis.
So we all know prayer is not the answer. It is about doing research.
You see the way government always
the vaccination. We know that this is supposed to be vaccinated. Yes. There's a vaccination for it. There's a price on that vaccination. $50. It is not about prayer. Bring the money.
Go ahead.
I wanted to relate it to the IPOB story quickly. Okay. In the IPOB story, the IPOB people raised a new issue that there's a secret. They're planning a secret trial for their leader, and they're also planning to try him under Sharia law in a country where we have laws and they're obvious.
That doesn't make any sense.
So this is how people, what would a leadership class or ruler class, ruling class, how they raise religious issues to divide us when it is necessary. Like we did not go to school. Like people don't have brains.
Thanks for that point.
And people led a protest on that kind of issue.
That doesn't make any sense.
When we have a criminal law, we have the constitution, and you say Sharia law. For states who even practice Sharia, they've made it their laws.
Exactly.
So you first of all pass it into.
So the people obviously are not thinking. Why would they just go and lead a protest based on that kind of assertion? All right. Unfortunately, we can't take this day, but let me just read. Let me just quickly try to rush it. In explosive meeting with NWC, APC senators insist on Magu's ouster. INEC accuses parties of fielding ex-convicts. Senate and certificate forgers. That is the story you want to take, Jumoke?
Yeah, in that there's nothing that they can do, that all their results are being contested in court because the political parties are fielding
certificate forgers
and criminals. So when
ex-convicts,
right? That's the right word he used. So when even elections are concluded, you go to court and you lose the case. So that INEC is now putting together a committee to enforce that this doesn't happen in future.
Okay, hopefully we look forward to that.
Why is it the only ex-convicts and forgers that are being fielded by our political parties?
Not all the time. Not all the time. It's still an allegation from INEC. We don't know that for a fact. Let's take a quick break now. When we come back, Governor Rochas Okorocha gifts outgoing Commissioner of Police 5 million naira to fuel his car. And later, we talk to a special guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So according to reports, the Imo State Governor, Governor Rochas Okorocha, recently gave gifts, landed properties, and 5 million naira for fueling the car of the outgoing Commissioner of Police in the state, Mr. Taiwo Lakano. According to press release statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary, Mr. Stam Onwemodo, the governor named a road after the CP. Gave him a choice land property worth 25 million naira and went further to ask him to name any part of the state he would like to live, even after his retirement from the police. What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on 070-80-668-014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so you can read your tweets.
Let's please. Did the CP kill did he kill a lion?
Maybe he did, though. You don't know.
He must have caught no, it has to be public news. He must have caught a serious criminal, saved the governor's life. You know, those kind of things you see in America
about vampire.
Even if he did that, is he not doing his job? Was he not doing his job?
No, it's because you're reading now. Before you name a street, give him 5 million to fuel car for a year or maybe 2 weeks.
And 25 million.
No, please. You must have taken a bullet for somebody. Saved a life. Done something. Please. It will be public knowledge.
King, kidnapper, vampire. Which state was he killed in?
It was in Enugu, I think. It wasn't Imo.
It wasn't Imo.
You see, this attitude of monetizing reward is what has brought us to corruption that is now everywhere in Nigeria. It's a good thing to show appreciation for people who have done their work well.
Selflessly, yeah?
So if you even say that you want to give him a house, you know, in appreciation, but once you start to monetize, that's where corruption starts from, because the guy is going to be expecting money from the region. If he was promoted, for instance, and he becomes AIG over 2 states or a region, he's going to be expecting some monetary reward because you have whet his appetite. That's why parents say, don't give my children money. Some parents don't even give their children cash to school. You'd rather give them food so that they don't become lovers of money. The love of money.
But don't you think that it's part of our culture where giving gifts is part of what we do here?
Gifts.
We give gifts here. It's part of you come to somebody's house, you do something, they give you maybe something to go along with, to go home with. They give you a motto, that kind of thing. It's part of who we are. So maybe this is what this is supposed to be.
Let me just in 2 sentences explain. Mariah, if you come to my house and you do me good and I give you gifts that are worth a lot, you bought me a very expensive perfume for Christmas. If you gave me the money, maybe I would have drank pepper soup, but I will still remember that perfume every time. So maybe if you do gifts, but not
house
money.
Is gifts now. House.
Here's even my own angle. The Commissioner of Police is head over a large group of people who mainly, if you talk to them, are impoverished and are not happy with their job and the way they are being treated. If you want to show appreciation for what the Commissioner of Police has achieved, it is not because of his own personal achievements. Everything that the Commissioner of Police is ascribing to himself as what he has achieved in his term was done by those foot soldiers on ground. So what appreciation are you giving to them when you give one man 5 million? Is he going to share it among all the police officers within Imo State? One. Number two, I think that when we want to appreciate, you travel to Western world and you see the way they respect the police officers. They say these people have given their lives for us. Yes. Just few weeks ago, one police officer died trying to rescue the terrorist attack in UK,
yes.
and they kept saying over and over again the police officer that lost his life, gallantly serving the country. And I'm like, there's no better appreciation than that. It's not about the money and all that. Just make them feel it.
We don't appreciate those kind of honors.
We don't give them. We don't give them.
The young soldier man that died recently, whose record of service was so, you know, what would
Thanks for that example. After that celebration, Nima, what has happened?
Abandoned.
And we all don't move on. Exactly. So
but
in Nigeria, we don't appreciate those kind of things.
And you cannot even say, I cannot say that this is what he has done. The people working with him have not come out to say, because of him, we've had reforms, we now have a very good police service, our salaries have, our benefits, housing and things have improved. Nothing like that. Okay, let me take this call from Badagry. Morning, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
This will be first-time caller, please.
Welcome to the show.
Obi?
I don't see anything wrong in that. If the government wants to give the commissioner that kind of money and that kind of gift, I don't see anything wrong. I really appreciate it. That's why it's doing all this.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Obi.
It's okay that he's doing it.
Okay. Great, thanks.
One or two things. You know, we were talking about using financial appreciation. The reason people appreciate money now is because if you fall sick, you need to travel out. If you want good education, you need to travel out. Every single thing that, if you want power, you need to buy your gen. Every single basic, we want water, you need to buy your pumping machine and drill borehole. If the government uses the money they give as appreciation stipends to develop the environment, I will not mind you not giving money. I know when I'm sick, the hospital is there to take care of me. When my children in school, they'll get good education because you have spent the right money doing the right thing, not bribing people and giving them small funds.
Peter Obi?
Yes. God will bless you. He was appreciated now, Morayo. His people appreciated what he did. The people who are already used to being rewarded monetarily, they called him Akagom, that this one, no, they give money. But eventually, the legacy that he left speaks after him. So, why Nigeria is faced with poverty, our politicians have decided to leave us impoverished so that when they give you those stipends, 1 million, what is 1 million to the governor? You'll be loyal to them.
Let me take this call from Olabi. Olabi, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, go ahead, please.
Olabi calling from Ebeda. Every time caller.
Every time caller.
You know something about Nigeria? This corruption has become a taste like Maggi. Because this thing, sometimes just call Nigeria to your hand and taste it. You taste this corruption in it. This thing is dipping, and it is dipping in Nigeria. God bless Nigeria. Have a nice day.
Thanks. Yes,
Nima. Growing up, I remember that we used to have streets named after people. So I would expect that if you had done anything at all, anything gallant at all, name the street after him. If you wanted to give him monetary, don't even make noise about 5 million naira. It's like pushing it in the face of those of us. Which younger? The hungry ones.
People, yes.
People who are working every day, civil servants who give their all, 35 years in service, and they don't get their pension. You rub beat in their face like that. 5 million naira money for fuel. It's not your local village meeting where you say, "Oh boy, now take car." It's not like that.
Yeah.
People out there, people are really suffering, and you don't do that.
You did it quietly.
Morayo,
good point. Because we shouldn't say that there's anything wrong in giving, because Obi is right. Maybe there's something wrong in the governor giving. But be silent about it.
A lot is wrong when you're owing salaries.
Giving is good. Yes, but be giving your own personal money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So when you are...
It could be his personal money,
Morayo, we are not told that. If it is a collective amount of money that you have not built hospital, you have not paid the people who are working within your state.
Governor Okorocha is building roads.
I wanted to make an example of...
He's building roads.
I wanted to make an example of Oyo State Governor, who also gave 500,000 naira for money to students.
Yes.
Their school was short. You are giving them 500,000 naira for money.
To
create a system that works.
Let me take this call from Kaduna. I have a long distance call from Kaduna. Morning, are you there? Eze from Kaduna, go ahead, please.
Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Yeah, I enjoy watching your program every morning.
Thank you, Eze.
The first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, this issue of Governor Rochas Okorocha of Imo State. Hello?
We can hear you clearly. Please go ahead.
Yes. Their university has been on strike for like 2 years. Those money he's using on a police officer could have been used to put the students back to school. That's just my fear with him. My state is Enugu State. I'm very close to Imo.
Thank you very much. Let's take some tweets on this. We'll have to round up.
Otumba Toby Daniel says, in case you don't know, Okorocha owns 80% of those things. Who commission our app? Corruption things, way of stealing. Chima says, I beg, make them check well. Are you sure there is nothing he wants him to cover up for him? Idowu says, there's more to what you have here. Is it not the same Niger governor? Romy says, Okorocha has lost it. This is a governor that ordered town unions to pay a mandatory 6 million naira for rural development in his state.
But in fairness to Governor Rochester Okorocha, there's a promo running on TVC that I see. He has built some schools, renovated some schools, roads. We're seeing better, like with this borehole in the community. Why are you fighting to defend him? I'm just telling you that. So hard. Don't act as if he's not working. He's doing some things. That's not act as though. Okay, go ahead.
Says, I am sure the commissioner helped the governor in doing some unpleasant things, which we do not know about. Well done, governor. Go ahead.
This Rochas has not been doing anything right. Not surprised at this though. Romy Ima says, poor as Imo State is the worst governor in Nigeria.
Ajayi Olayinka says, that's what we call rub my back, I rub your back.
Okay, I have to rush out.
I guess somebody has helped somebody during the election.
There's a promo running on TVC, I think it was TVC Breakfast from Imo State. It's invest in Imo State. Look at that promo. It shows the positive side of Imo State. So let's not act as though they're not doing anything. But we're not against giving. We're not against gratitude. The idea is don't rub it in people's faces. This figures throwing around 25 million naira worth property, 5 million for those things doesn't sit well to poor people because they're hungry. They're lining up for pensions, what rightfully belongs to them, and they're not getting it. So if you want to appreciate a CP, quietly do it and keep your mouth shut.
Just give him his pension.
And let him go. That's all we can take when we return. Our personality of the month. An entrepreneur. Par excellence. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Tara Fela-Durotoye is a lawyer who became one of Africa's leading beauty and makeup entrepreneur. She started House of Tara at the age of 20. Today, Tara has over 3,000 reps spread across the country and 14 stores to her name. And she's steadfastly dedicated to realizing her vision of building a globally respected beauty company of African origin. Tara remains an inspirational role model and mentor to makeup artists and aspiring beauty business owners across Africa. She has won many awards. Welcome to the show, Tara.
Yeah.
You can call us on 070-80668-014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so your profile is all over the internet, so we know everything about you. Not enough.
5,000 beauty reps.
Not 3,000. Oh, great.
Plus 22 stores across the country.
Oh, so that's outdated.
13 states.
And we must say congratulations for being amongst the top 100 most influential people of African descent, and then you are also on the Forbes
20, top 20.
You know, congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. So Tara, okay, as I said, we know your history, but I want you to help a lot of young entrepreneurs out there today. That's the focus of our interview. How you were able to, you started the business. At what point did you say, okay, it's time to have an academy? It's time to start training others? Because we know lots of makeup artists who keep, doing their makeup and maybe start buying products, but you had to start building an academy. Tell us where that decision came from. How did it come?
I always say that there are a few things that determined, that was part of the strategic plan for us. At the time it wasn't strategic plan, it was how I wanted my business to be. Today, because of business school, you have to say strategic plan. Right? One of them was innovation and pioneering. And I at a point in the journey, having a school came out of a necessity, and the necessity was responding to market demand. And when you have a business, you have to be sensitive to what your customers need, what your customers are asking for. Sometimes they don't even know, but they're asking for it through soft ways. So we just spoke, for example, about Hager and Esther, one of the new local brands. I think Esther, incidentally, was my first student.
Oh.
And at the time, she came to me and said, I want to learn what it is that you're doing. Is it possible for you to teach me? And my response to her request, and she wasn't the only person that had asked, but she was the one person that was assistant. It gave me an eye into the possibilities of training. Now, many times people say to you, oh, when the opportunity opened, I was not fully prepared. I wasn't fully prepared for it, but I took it. And that's what Richard Branson will say to you. Many times when you're asked to do something, you may not be prepared to do it, but on the journey you will learn. And for me, I didn't have the books, I didn't have the training manual, but what I did was, what I know is in my hands. Let me teach by association. So I carried her along with me. But as the days went by, I realized that I could start documenting the things I was teaching. And it was from the documentation that we created a manual. So today we have an entire textbook in House of Tara. We have about 14 makeup schools across the country, and each of those schools have a training manual. That
I have to let the ladies come in here because I know you want to. Just give me 1 quick second. You, alongside a few others, started around the same time, and I don't know how you made makeup such an industry. I know when it started, it was like, just to do makeup. What's the big deal? I don't know how makeup, because then I was talking about like, a young girl with fried rice mix, you know? These are young with ideas. Is that point of how can we create, how this industry just emerged? I'm still shocked, but let the ladies come in.
I add to the question to say that from going to Command Children's School to going to Navy Secondary School to studying law, to studying law at LASU, and you started your makeup while you were still a student at LASU. How did you make that decision that law isn't the way? This makeup that I'm doing as a hobby is where my future is. You know.
First of all, it was passion. So as I went along, I realized I became more passionate about makeup and entrepreneurship than I was passionate about
law.
Yeah. That was number one. That was number one indicator. The second indicator for me was the response of the market again. Like you said earlier on, you said you and a few people started the industry. Me and a few people didn't start the industry. I started the industry.
No, as in we knew you and a few other people around the same time.
Okay.
Yes.
So now making a decision was because I was responding to a market demand. So yes, the customers did not know that they needed bridal makeup artistry. They didn't know. But the first time I had to go and do a bride's makeup, after doing a test for her, it was a sanitation day. Okay. So I arrived at her house late. When I got to her house, she said, see what they've done to my face. Rather than I being sad, I realized that the lady was actually sad that I didn't come on time, because she saw the test makeup and she saw what she looked like and what she looked like now. So that said to me was an indicator that this is a real business. That's one. Two, I had a very simple way of bookkeeping. And one of the things I say, one of the strategic pillars of House of Tara is we're very, very big on documentation. And so I had just an Apex Mail notebook. And with the Apex Mail notebook, I recorded every payment that was made to me. As a Christian, I also tithe, so it was important for me to know how much was coming in. Okay. Now, by recording, it meant that I had access to intelligence, intel, or numbers. So at the end of the year, when I calculated how much money I had generated, I had an aha moment. The question was, if I continued and I wanted to work as a lawyer, will I be able to generate this money? And two, if I see this kind of money coming in and I was not really doing anything per se, I was just having a good time, then this truly can be a real business.
Okay. Okay. Your choice to be a lawyer and your choice to be a makeup artist, I know that was while you're studying. I'm sure your family members would have had a kind of excitement around studying law, that, our lawyer daughter. She's a lawyer. So at that point when you decided, 20 years ago, when the craze for law was everything, and you decided that, no, I will leave weekends for studying, I'll go do makeup and all. How was the reception at home? How did your family people, your family members respond to that? So
it's funny, because I was on campus. So my parents didn't realize that I was going to shelve one for the other. It didn't really, there was no need, right, for them to be bothered. But by the time I opened my store in Victoria Island, I was just graduating out of university.
What?
I had made that sort of investment. British American Tobacco had engaged me to do the photo shoots for the billboards
where they were advertising diversity at the time. There were these massive billboards across the country, and they had engaged me. And it was from the proceeds from that transaction that I rented my first store in VI. By the time your little child, my mother walked into the place and said, in pidgin English, "You build house for Pesino." Right? Because she saw a 3-bedroom place that it was a boys' quarters of an apartment that was owned by the catalyst at the time, Larry Olushola, and I had now renovated. When you see that sort of investment, I don't think any parent will bother you about going to study law. My mom also studied fine arts at a time where I guess it was more fashionable to study law or whatever. My father also studied history in Cambridge when it was also fashionable to be a lawyer. So I guess the both of them also didn't have a background where they did unconventional things. So it just made sense that I was also doing something unconventional.
You've pioneered the industry. A lot of people look up to you and try to achieve what you've done. I'm happy that I know that I knew you had a relationship with Bimisola and that she looks up to you. There are a lot of makeup artists that have hit a wall in terms of growth in the industry. What are the, I've attended TFD series, so I know you do this. What are the 3 things you would say is hindering businesses from exploding the way yours did? So that somebody watching can say that these are the 3 things that I can implement now that will make a change in my current business?
One of them could be that you're not even in the right business.
Yeah. How will I know?
And you have to be ready to face that reality. How would you know? When you've hit a wall, and you've consistently not been able to progress, it may mean that that's not what you should be doing. That's a
good one.
The second one is, many times people, I will go back to the first one, many people do businesses because they're just trying to copy somebody else. Oh, pure water is what's raining, let's go and sell pure water. Oh, makeup is what's raining, let's go and do makeup. No, don't just do makeup for the sake of doing makeup. Do makeup because that is really what your passion is. Let it be that Tara or Banke Mishida or somebody ignited a fire in your heart that made you know this is what I'm called to do. Not because this is what is happening or what is raining. That's number one. Number 2, sometimes people have that ceiling block because of the limited time that they're putting in that business. So I always say that the more time you spend with your business, thinking about your business, ideas come to you. You have those multiple aha moments. For me, every time my business grew was because I had a ceiling. Right? I was doing brides in December. There was one December, for example, I had almost 20-something brides. Right? I knew that I couldn't continue. I couldn't cope. Only me just going from house to house. I can have 3 brides in one day.
Yeah.
And move from Victoria Island to Ikeja, right? And at that very moment, I realized that it was time to start empowering other people and employing people who I would train to become makeup artists. It was a response to the blockage. In terms of product development as well, when did I decide to start my own product line? It was because I went into the market and the customer said to me, I like this makeup you did for me. Can I buy the product? And I went back to the market to get it, and it was not available because the man who was selling only bought 2 and only bought 3. And I realized I could create my own line, and my line would be available. And that's how the Tara Fela-Durotoye product line was. So I would say you need to spend time, more time in your business, not just physical, but mind share.
Okay, let me add a bit to that quick. Okay, I'll let you come, but because when that blockage is what I wanted to dwell on a bit. But do you think there's room for more makeup artists in this industry?
Are there too many?
Are there too many? Because I see almost every young girl wants to be a makeup artist, and I think you've addressed that a bit. But is there's Tara, there's Banke, there is what's the one you did? Hairstyle or something. So the point is that, do we have so many of them, or is there still room for growth?
There's definitely room for growth. We are, if we looking at demographics the other day, and we're talking about 35 million young women who are unemployed, and that's just not the total number of women. The makeup artists, the sheer number of makeup artists is dependent on how the consumers are responding. So I went to a wedding on 2 Saturdays ago, and it was just exciting to see that almost all the women had professionally done made up, right? And of course, there's still some people who are not professionally made up. Who's doing makeup for those people? What's happening is that you may say there are so many people, but the truth of the matter is that there are some people who are getting more jobs, right, than some others because they're positioned differently, maybe because their skill is better. So I do believe that there's still room for that.
Okay, you mentioned that you give your business a lot of time for it to grow, and I wonder, when you talk about having that seal, if it comes to family, I always have that problem. Whenever I want to take a step, I look back and who will take care of these people? Do you understand? Do you have that kind of worry? Did you have it ever? You know, how did you cope with it? And you know, and
I think first of all, I think it depends on who you're married to, your spouse. That's to a large extent. Are there times where I want to do something and I'm thinking of my family? Yes. I wanted to go and do an MBA, and I remember thinking of my husband, thinking of my children, and what have you. And one whole year, is that a good idea? Is it a good time? As women, we always have those issues, right? But I think to a large extent, the reason why I've been able to explore and travel as wide as I can travel, develop relationships as much as and be confident in who I am, is because I married a man who's extremely passionate about ensuring that I achieved all my purpose. So I think that's a significant, and for him, it's almost like, I know you want to achieve this. I want to be a part of you achieving it. Yes.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll take some phone calls and tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, Tokwe had a question?
Yes. A few weeks ago, I came here and I was shouting on your behalf that Tara has said that they are counterfeiting our products. This cannot happen. And a lot of people responded. I stand with Tara. I did that here. I did it on video too. How has it been, the response from when you were majorly suffering the counterfeit? What's the difference now? What was the government's part? What is going on?
So I'm very excited. I'm very grateful. I think one of the things it did for me was to realize how strong goodwill, how much goodwill House of Tara had in the space. So I'm very grateful for how people responded to it. People were going to stores where they were selling counterfeit and telling them, I will shut your store down if you don't stop selling Tara, fake Tara. So that's one. Two, in terms of government, unfortunately, I haven't seen the sort of response that I expected to see. From NAFDAC, I have not seen the sort of response. They were fast initially, but they've slowed down. And it's sad because we've been on this thing for about a year.
Yes. Right, let me take this call from Laja Martins. Morning, are you there?
Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please. Oh, I'm so sorry, Laja.
Yes. We wanted you to touch on TFD series a little. Why did you start that conference? What were you planning to achieve?
So the TFD series was really a mentorship platform where I wanted to connect older women to younger women. And I think that we saw a gap with the age between 25 and 35, where a lot of the young women didn't have access to mentorship and mentoring. And I know how mentorship has shaped who I've become today in terms of my family life, my business life, and some of the things decisions I've taken.
Who are your mentors?
My mentor is Mrs. Ibukwa Woshika, Jumoke Adino.
Big names.
Well, you would say they are big names, but you know, they're people who I had access to a long time, even before people started to know them. And so they handheld me. So I wanted to create a platform where I could connect Mrs. Awoshika, for example, to the 25-year-olds and 35-year-olds. Because when I was that age, I had access to her. And so we decided to create that platform to help the conversation. And I think we've had about 7 events. On my birthday, we had a big conference. About 550 people, young women attended. And I think for me, to a large extent, is they're paying it forward, because a lot of the ladies learn and they are obligated to go and pay it forward.
Okay, let me take this call from Fumi. Fumi, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yes, good morning.
Morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Tara.
Good morning.
You really inspire me. And I want to ask her, how much does Tara powder retail for? Because I went to a shop in Yama and I found it for like 4,000. But when I checked Tara.com, I saw it retailing for 5,500. And is there a way we can recognize any Tara fake powder out there or Tara product? Is there a way we can recognize the fake ones?
Okay.
How do you recognize
Okay, so how do you recognize the fake Tara? First of all, it would not have an authentication code. That authentication code, you must scratch it and you must send a text. If you send a text, it will tell you whether it will tell you it is real, or if as long as the authentication, you get a text response, it means that it is genuine. If you're unsure, just buy from the site or go to any of the House of Tara stores or MedPlus and Casabella.
All right, I hope I don't get in trouble for that. Because, but we're celebrating women who are doing such great things in Nigeria. Why is your husband the managing director of the creative director, House of Tara International? Because it seems like you're the CEO
My husband?
That's what I read online, that he's the managing director, and I'm wondering, are you his boss on this one, or is he your boss?
No, because my name is Fela-Durotoye. Maybe what you saw online. No, I'm the creative director and the CEO of House of Tara. My husband doesn't work.
What role does he play in the company in any way? Does he play any role? No. Just advisory?
Oh, support from whom?
Support on the...
Okay.
Well, he's a consultant, so you know he would always give counsel and whatever you... But I run the business 100%.
Okay. Before I take your question, let me take Laja. Laja is back. Okay. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay. If we look at, I first of all want to look at Okorocha's luggage.
We don't have time for that, Ogao.
Okay.
Let's still go straight
talk about Tara.
Yes.
Looking, I think one of the major successes she recorded were due to thinking outside the box. Thinking outside the box.
Yes.
She has been able to think outside the box.
Right.
If you do something and you don't put something different into your own, you will never make it. And then the second point is she has the support of money. Money. And then the third point is her parents.
Parents.
They were very supportive.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let me let her address those.
So maybe as research, I was going to say that your parents separated when you were 8 months, and so you were raised by your stepmom and your so you came from polygamous, and you, out of all of that, decided, you know, they say that we make the mistakes of our parents, you know, that I'm going to go into monogamy and be successful at marriage and business. Do you want to encourage somebody who has come from such a foundation and wants to be like you?
I say it can limit you. Coming from a polygamous family, your mom not being in the house can limit you, but the choice is yours. I always say that you can look at your situation and say to yourself, I have learned from this situation, this is how I'm going to make my life better. And for me, it was I just made a commitment that I'll be married, but happily married. Not just married, but happily married. And I think the effort we're putting in as a couple is significant in what we're seeing.
Okay. I wanted to build on what Laja said, because it's easy for someone to see your success and think she had money or she had money. How do you get funding, and what do you do to make sure you sustain your business? So that people don't...
First of all, I didn't have money. Let us not get it twisted. I didn't have money. But what I did was I was very disciplined with what came in. I banked all my money. I had a habit of banking all my money. It took years for the bankers to understand the kind of business I'm in, so I couldn't get financing. What is makeup? It's only now that people are now understanding that it's a huge industry. But many years people didn't realize. So maybe only about 7-8 years ago was the first time I actually got a bank loan. But what I did was every transaction, every money that came in, I put back in the business, and I was disciplined. And I believe in delayed gratification. At the time where I would have been buying a nice car, I didn't. At a time where I should have been buying jewelry, I didn't, because I was putting the money into the business.
Nice. Fantastic.
So last word for general entrepreneurs, something you want people to remember you by right now with this platform.
I want people to remember that each one of us has a story. And each of us can shape our story. And we have that responsibility. No matter how difficult it is, Nigeria is a difficult place. And I've built a business in the last 19 years in a difficult place. So whatever it is, the difficulties that you're going through, I want you to know that it is possible. First of all, believe that it is possible and take every step of the day. Mo Abudu always says something. She said, you know, having ideas is great, but execution. And many times we have great ideas, but it's about executing those ideas.
Final tweets for a run-off.
Kola Wale says, you're indeed a role model, Tara. Thank God our girls are being kept busy through your inspiration. More power to your elbow. Lion says, please ask her that so far the makeup is a woman's business. Do you feel men would do well as makeup entrepreneurs? Kola Wale says, she's indeed a role model. I think I took that already. Aloy Stanley says, it's amazing to see CEO like this. What is catchy is how she has managed House of Tara till this moment.
Fantastic. We have to round out. Almost every single makeup artist I know has been to Tara. Almost everyone, they started from Tara, and it's amazing. You've done a fantastic job. Many of us look up to you, and we just hope the idea is to build more entrepreneurs out there. We're tired of the 9 to 5. Many of us are tired of the 9 to 5. We want to do something big. So thank you for inspiring us, and That's all we can take with the outbreak of meningitis in Nigeria. Do not stay in a congested apartment. Please keep a healthy personal hygiene. And if you notice someone around you that is ill, take them to the hospital immediately. That's all we can take on the show. Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Tara.